Hello and welcome to another reading vlog. Is you, dude? Yes, you're adorable. Oh my gosh. This week I have decided that I am going to read the pink books on my TBR. I noticed there were quite a few bright pink covers and I thought, why not? That will be fun. So I've already got some books lined up. I've got to pick one up at the library. It is Blood on the Tide by Katie Robert. It's the second in the Crimson Sails series about sort of like a vampire and a pirate who, it's a portal fantasy as well. Sorry, Blue's got her, oh baby, that's a long nail. You need a nail trim. Yes, you do. And I enjoyed the first one, so I will be picking up the second, and it's a glorious pink cover. A book that I have on my e-reader is Still the Sun by Charlie Ann Holmberg. I do tend to like a lot of this author's stuff. Sometimes though they might be a bit too slow for me, so it's a bit hit and miss. So the blurb says, an ancient machine holds the secrets of a distant world's past for two intimate strangers in this romantasy. So supposedly there's this sort of tower, and one of the characters' restoration of it brings really disturbing visions, and she discovers that it could reveal the origins of the tower's strange keepers and the unfathomable reason the truth has been hidden from her. So it's a bit of a vague plot, to be honest with you, but like I said, so I thought, why not give it a go? I will eventually put on a pink outfit. That was a missed opportunity, so maybe for the rest of the week I'll dress in pink.
On Wednesdays we wear pink.
But besides that, I was meant to be, I'm patting Bluebell, I'm not just windmilling my arms for no reason. I was meant to be taking my eldest on a shopping trip today. Her friend's cancelled, she's trying to line up some others, but I don't know if that's going to go down. And my youngest has a play date, but besides that, I was hoping to get a lot of downtime to read. But we'll see how we go. But I'll touch base with you guys once I've read some of these books. Okay guys, I'm back, this time in a pink outfit, which is more to the theme. I can't believe I totally dropped the ball on that one, but the pink is here. So let me tell you about all of the pink books that I read this week. So as you know, I started off with Blood on the Tide. This was the second installment in the Crimson Sails series by Katie Robert. This is basically a grumpy vampire becomes a rebel for her sunshine Selkie. So, okay, where this lost me was immediately because whilst I don't mind a grumpy sunshine pairing, my favorite is grumpy with absolute salacious, rakish cad. I want someone who's over the top and flirtatious and dangerous with a grump. That's my favorite. And in the beginning of this book, that is what you get. There's a character named Knox, Lizzie, the grumpy vamp. The frijon was, yes, I wanted them to throw down in every meaning of the word. So then when that was obviously cast aside for this little sunshine Selkie, I was a bit peeved. I was like, I don't know if I can do it. And the issue with this book is it's very heavy-handed with the romance. It's definitely not a slow burn, and it's just shoved in your face. So this book is pretty much a romance book. There's a tiny little subplot of Lizzie wanting to get her family jewels back and Sunshine needing to get her Selkie skin back. So the book is centered on those two. They depart from the pirate ship and go off on their own little side quest. But it's just all about the romance, and because I didn't ship them, I've given this a 3 stars. Also for me, the word baby was thrown around too a lot, especially in sexual scenarios. I don't mind baby, but when it's like, how do you like that baby? Oh, it feels good baby, harder baby. It's too much baby. There's too much baby in this book. So I will be, look, this one was not for me. I will be continuing, I've probably gone as pink as my dress. I will be continuing the series because I'm really hoping that Knox, the they, them, sexy, rakish Casanova person is the main character in the next one. Like I'm hoping they give them the best love interest, please. Please no sweet, soft, doe-eyed love interest. Can we just have two sexy bitches, two fierce people hook up? That's what I'm hoping that pairing is going to be. Sexy. So, we'll see, but I will give the next one a go because I did enjoy the first one so much. But like I said, this one was all just romance. The plot was background noise. So we'll see how we go. The next book that I read was Still the Sun by Charlie Ann Holmberg. I gave this one a 2.75. So I said with Charlie, I either absolutely adore their books or I really don't like them. And this was the latter in this case because for the main reason every time, it was dull. This book is about a lady who loves to tinker with anything mechanical and a duo of alien looking dudes that get her to fix their machine tower. Things feel dodgy in this book and eventually she figures out why. So this is playing on the amnesia trope, which is not my favorite. I don't really love that one, especially if it's the whole book and they realize, oh, I've forgotten stuff. Oh, that's what's going on here. I feel like it's just too much of a, plot, a sort of cop-out plot device. But the issue with this book is this is literally about this woman fixing machines. That is almost the whole book. Right at the end, you finally get what's really going on, like all of the subterfuge comes to light. But 75% is just her going through the fog to the tower, tinker, tinker, tinker. All right, boys, I'm off, go back home, wait till the next mist rolls in, back to the tower, tinker, 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 mechanical machinery terms galore. Which alien dude is being more sus? Like, look, is the twist kind of cool? Yeah, but it's not fleshed out, my bro. It is, the magic isn't really explained and it's just resolved so quickly. And yeah, it was lackluster. I'm sorry. So this one is not for me. If you like more slow-paced, chill fantasy, I guess, with just a little bit of a skerfuffle at the end, then you might enjoy this, but this wasn't my jam. And then I read The Makeup Artist by Adriana Mather. And this is a YA romance. And look, if I was going to rate it, it was probably a 3.5. I'm not going to rate it though because I'm not the audience, So I feel like I can rate YA fantasy because it's always quite normally a bit less YA, whereas YA romantic rom-coms, that's for teens. So this is basically about some Dawson's River kids.
Those damn Dawson's River kids sleeping in each other's beds and whatnot.
Starting up a business where they break up toxic couples, and this stems from the MMC's death of his sister, who was riding shotgun in her deadbeat, controlling, abusive boyfriend's car. He crashed it, she died. So now concerned mums and pops and friends ring them up and say, hey, my girl is dating this huge douche canoe. Can you come and end that for us? Thanks. So this guy, August, and his BFF next door neighbor, Valentine, which look, it was very hard for me to read about a character with my child's name, especially without getting the sexy time on. Luckily, her nickname Tiny was thrown around a lot because, I don't think in the future I could read it with a character that has a main name of someone that's in my family. They're in the business together. And look, this was very much giving 10 Things I Hate About You. August was basically becoming a Patrick Verona, getting paid to break up this couple and in the meantime falling in love with the woman in question. It was very cute, but I'm just too old for it. But I think if you are a teen, give it a go. Like, it was very sweet and darling. It's just, this bitch needs some adults in the book. So yeah, it just wasn't for me, but it's a good YA rom-com. The next book that I read was Perfume and Pain by Anna Dawn. I am obsessed with this cover. I die. It is gorgeous. And this is a sort of homage to lesbian pulp fiction. And I have given it a 4 stars. Basically, if you really like reading about messy, horny, drug-fueled lesbians falling for equally messed up women, then this is for you. There are lots and lots of mentions of other women in this book, like Patricia Highsmith, Patti Smith, Jeanette Winterson, Joan Didion, alongside a whole ton of pop culture references, and other more contemporary women like Kay Stew and the Kardashians. And it's basically about the main character who is an author, and he's getting himself into very messed up situations with other women. So very much, oh my God, what was that movie with the bunny boiling? Single White Female? Is that the one? But just, absolute psychos. No one here has a healthy attachment style whatsoever, but I find it very entertaining. I just like Anna Dawn's writing. There's lots of astrology references thrown in here once again. This one had a more bookish quality with the main character being an author, so I liked all of those sorts of elements to deal with. Also, the fact that she was absolutely shocking when it came to PR. This woman was constantly sticking her foot in her own mouth. But like I said, don't read this if you want healthy examples of things. This is not a romantic book. It's just entertaining. I guess car crash entertaining in a way, which is really dark and macabre, but you know what I mean. But yes, lots of drug references in this though, so if that's a trigger for you, stay away from this, because this character understands that she has a problem, but relapses quite a lot. But I think pretty much at this point I'll pick up whatever Anna Dawn writes and give it a go. And then I read Margot's Got Money Problems by Ruthie Thorpe. I also gave this one a 4-star. I feel like a lot of these pink books do, mostly litfic, surprisingly. But this one is about a young mum. She's 19. She was having an affair with her gross, much older university professor who was already married and had children. She gets knocked up. He wants nothing to do with it. And she decides to keep the baby despite everybody around her telling her, you're going to ruin your life. And she does come to agree with him, but at that point in time, she felt like this is what a good person is meant to do, and then realizes that even if you do what society says is a good thing by like keeping the baby, I guess, no one's going to help you. No one cares that you're suffering and that you're down on your luck, because she soon finds out that her boss fires her because she can't get a babysitter regularly for her child, and she's running out of money, and her mum, who is toxic AF, doesn't even lift a finger to help her out. Her roommates get sick and tired of hearing the baby, and they're like, we're out of here. And then all of a sudden she's left trying to figure out how we're going to find new roommates to come and move in with us to cover the cost of the rent. In comes her former pro wrestler dad, who has substance abuse issues. So once again, if drugs are a trigger for you, don't read this, because he also is struggling with staying clean and sober and relapsing. But he's a great guy. So he wasn't really around when she was a child. He'd knocked her mum up because he also had kids and was already married. But he's trying, I guess, now to make up for lost time and to step in and be a good dad. But basically, the main character, what's her name? I've forgotten her name. Oh my God, Margot. It's in the goddamn title. This is what I just names just, out unless it's my family member's name. Margot decides to start an OnlyFans account to pay the bills because she really wants to be at home with her child as much as possible. She's very much a attachment style parent and doing her best to not repeat, the family cycle of trauma and abuse and be a good parent basically. So she decides to start an OnlyFans account. So there's a lot looking at that, looking at TikTok, social media content, and sex work is the main one. And basically a lot of people come for her and she has to prove to them that you can do sex work. She's not having sex with people, but she's obviously performing sex acts on herself in front of a camera, and still be a good mother. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. This was very readable, and you found yourself really rooting for Margot. Like, she's young, she's 19, she's going through a lot, but she's trying to do the right thing, and seeing all of these struggles and these people coming for her, especially like CPS and stuff, it just, I guess you're so angry. But she is fierce and she's intelligent and she takes them all on, and she's relentless when it comes to trying to do what's best for her child. This book does switch narratives, as in like first person, third person. Margot sometimes talks about herself in a narrator style way, but that didn't bother me whatsoever. So I found I had no issue with the changing of the narrative person. There is a romance in this that I wasn't really here for. I won't spoil who the romance is with, but it did give me the ick a little bit. And that's the only time when I was like really side-eyeing Margot. I'm like, oh honey, just because you're getting that attention doesn't mean it's like attention that is the best for you. Like, I think they were trying to play it up like, oh, how romantic, but yeah, it gave me the creeps. So I didn't really love that, and I prefer that if that wasn't a part in the book. I don't think we needed her to find, a relationship for it to be a good book, but I guess people do like romance. But otherwise, I actually really enjoyed the story. I thought it was very readable, entertaining, and a bit of a different spin on sort of the look at motherhood. Like I said, it was mostly motherhood and sex work were the main storylines. There are abusive parents in there are toxic exes and all that jazz around it, but I had a good time, and I would read more from this author in the future. And the last book that I read for this vlog was We Were the Universe by Kimberly King Parsons, and I've also given this a 4-star. Basically, this one is about a bisexual sad mum who really loves her family, watching porn, and dealing with the grief of having lost her sister. I really loved the parts about motherhood the most in this. I felt like they were really accurate, just that the highs and the lows of it, the bittersweetness of becoming a mother and being so beholden to this other human being. The writing style did remind me a bit of Melissa Broder, so it's got a bit of that crassness, a bit of that shockingness to it, like dirtiness, her porn addiction is very real. The book goes back and forth in time, so with her current life and then the flashbacks of these moments and memories that she had with her sister, remembering their childhood together, and then juxtapositioned with her now life of being a mother and a wife. This book has a lot of mentions of drugs and horniness. That's a lot of it. Motherhood, drugs, horniness, grief. So those are the 4 pieces of the pie for this one. Once again, I did enjoy it. I think this one could have been cut down a little bit. It did drag in some areas, but otherwise, once again, I found it very readable and was interested to see how it would wrap up. So let's sum up all of the books that I read for this pink reading vlog. So we had Blood on the Tide by Katie Robert, which I gave 3 stars and was a grumpy vampire sunshine sulky fantasy romance. Still the Sun by Charlie and Holmberg, which I gave 3 stars, which is about a tinkerer lady and 2 green-eyed dodgy guys asking her to come fix their machines. The Breakup Artists by Adriana Mather, which I would have given a 3.5 stars, but it's a very sweet teen rom-com about a duo of just friends who go and break up hella toxic teen relationships and fall for people in the process. Perfume and Pain by Anna Dawn, which I gave 4 stars, lesbian pulp fiction kind of book about an author and her really dodgy choices in women. Margot's Got Money Problems by Ruthie Thorpe, which I also gave 4 stars and is about a young single mum navigating motherhood and sex work in order to provide for her family. And We Were the Universe by Kimberly King Parsons, which I also gave 4 stars. And this one is once again about a wife and mother navigating the grief of losing her sister and best friend and just dealing with life in general that comes along the way while you're trying to process something so heavy and you need to sort of keep functioning and being in society and playing the part that is expected of you. But also kind of dirty too. Like a lot of these books are kind of dirty. So there's a lot of randy ladies out there, I guess. A lot of us are more filthy up here than you would imagine. But those were all the books for this reading vlog. Most of them really good. So I managed to pick some books that were to my taste this week. I know, maybe I should do color themed reading vlogs more often in the future. Maybe there's a thing there. I don't know, but I just saw a lot of pink on my TBR and I thought, it's an excuse to also to wear this dress which otherwise I wouldn't have been able to wear until next summer. So that's everything for today. Until next time, stay wild, Star Child.